Hello, my name is Yamil Widy. I am the owner, operator, and sales pro at Traffic Jams Motorsports in Buford, Georgia. A brief history of my work. I started in the 12-volt industry in late 1993, right when I was getting into high school. Started tinkering with a lot of 12-volt, a lot of audio stuff. Installations. I started first on the install side. And from there, it has snowballed into what it is now my career. I come from a real estate background. My mother was in real estate, and so sales has always been something that was very real to me. We lived it every day. The sales journey was pretty much instilled to me from birth. Uh, I started working and doing installations for friends, high school friends, doing it out of my garage and my driveway. From there, it kind of blossomed to people now asking for work to be done. When before I used to do it just as a hobby, people started to demand more things. And at that point, I decided that it was time to make it a career. I started my career with Atlanta Auto Sounds back in 1996, 97. And I started in the Bay doing basic installs. I was green. I was a backyard tech. But from there, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from Sean Hill, Chris Anderson. From there, I moved my career over to AAP Motorsports, where I became a co-owner of AAP Motorsports with Christopher Anderson. And at that point, that's where my career took off. Chris Anderson taught me a lot. I was able to work with guys like Kevin Mutters, Tim Gertz, guys who were industry leaders, and I learned a lot from those guys. After that, after AAP Motorsports, I sold the shop to a conglomerate, and they brought us all under one roof. That shop became R2B2 Motors. R2B2 Motors, I was in sales and management. I stayed there for roughly about 2 years. And in late 2006, I took over Traffic Jams Motorsports in Buford, Georgia. At the point that I decided to get into sales, pretty much I was in sales from day one. Obviously, when you're doing stuff out of your backyard and your garage, you're the installer and the salesperson. So you're having to talk to customers and then go do the work, and then have to come back and talk to more customers and deliver finished projects. So you're always doing the sales. I started doing sales professionally when I started with AAP Motorsports. Chris instilled in me a lot of knowledge. He helped me learn a lot of the 12-volt industry. At that point, I was kind of thrown into the wolves because I was one of the only salespersons there. I learned that I was good at sales probably closer to around 2000. And when I mean good at sales, I felt more comfortable with myself. I wasn't as nervous talking to customers. I wasn't as nervous about not having the knowledge, the proper knowledge to sell. I knew at that point that I started learning different sales techniques on how to close deals. So yeah, probably around 2000 is when I decided that it was going to be a full-time gig. Obviously, at that point, I was also in the real estate world doing sales. So again, I've always been in the sales business. Selling houses or selling 12 volts, it was one of those things that always had the passion for selling and talking to. My sales philosophy, I want to say it started first with my mother. She's one of the ones who taught me a lot about sales. And when I mean taught, just kind of me sitting back, watching her, listening to her as a kid. It was one of those things that I was intrigued by how she was able to convince people how to purchase homes. So I picked up a lot from her. Chris Anderson taught me good. That boy got a tongue on him. He can sell. He is one of the best salespeople I've ever met. Another gentleman that taught me a lot was a gentleman named Dan Haynes. Dan Haynes could sell anything that you put in front of him. There was a lot of sit downs with them and listening to them, standing behind them while they were talking to customers, and just kind of taking notes of how they did things. and how I could put my own twist to it and make it my own. My sales philosophy, I'm going to say I'm a little bit more laid back on the sales floor. At the beginning, I try to always make a connection with the customer. I want to make a connection with them before we even get into the sales process. First thing I want to do is make them be able to drop their guard and feel more comfortable. So I always hit them with, where you from, kids, family, what do you do for a living, just trying to break the ice. Biggest thing is always introducing myself, making some type of physical contact with them like that. They could feel like, hey, I could lower my guard now and let's get to business on sales. Once we get into the sales process, I like to be informative with the consumer. I like to listen. I want to hear their needs. I want to hear their wants. Once I know what their needs are, then I could go ahead and start pointing them in the right direction to fulfill the needs that they came in looking for. So it's one of those things where being very informative is a very good tactic, but I also like to show and tell. The show and tell process is always something that's very good on the sales floor. It helps close deals a lot quicker, a lot easier. Most consumers don't have the vision. They haven't been doing this for 25 years. So you have to show it to them in a different view for they can understand it. So the show and tell works a lot. I also use the facility, the shop, the sales floor, all of our different displays to be able to close the deals that I am trying to push. I use the sales floor and I use the install bay. I use other co-workers to help close a lot of deals. So my philosophy is a little bit different than most. I'm very active on the floor. I love to move around. I don't like to be in one spot all day long. So yes, I'm very active on social media. But the biggest thing is just kind of listen and lay back and be aggressive when you need to, but definitely listen to what the customer has to say. My sales performance for 2023 has drastically changed. My numbers have skyrocketed in 2023 because this year I was a full-time sales professional. In previous years, I have not been on the sales floor 100% of the time. So my numbers this year have skyrocketed. This year I'm on track to close about $1.7 million in sales. Last year as part-time sales, I was only about $500,000 in sales. The difference this year from other years that I had to fulfill a bigger role on the sales floor. We have had the growth in the company that has needed me to be on the sales floor just to be able to handle a lot more clientele. We also lost one of our sales pros and we gained 2 more. So we ended up now bringing more people through the door. And this is one of the major reasons why my numbers have skyrocketed. My plans for the rest of the year is to continue strong, finish the year off strong. I have a lot of projects right now that are supposed to have end of the year deadlines. If I'm able to complete all the projects that we have, I will end up selling about roughly $1.7 million this year, which in terms makes me want to push even harder because that is a number that's hard to achieve by a single individual. Obviously, with my organizational skills and my clientele pool, it makes it a lot easier. Yeah, that's what my plans for this year. Just want to finish the year strong and be able to accomplish this goal. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to Traffic Jams.
Good afternoon.
How you doing today?
Pretty good.
Good. I'm Jamil.
I'm Ron.
Thank you for coming in.
I'm Ron.
Good. Ron, what brings you in today?
I'm looking for a radio
And maybe some other.
and accessories for my daughter's Toyota Corolla.
Okay, Toyota Corolla. All right, what year Toyota Corolla, sir?
It's a 2015. Let me tell you, man.
I'm cheap.
Okay. Cheap is the number one thing.
Yes.
Okay. So how old is your daughter?
She's 16
And she uses her phone for her music.
and she likes video.
Okay, so she's attached to her phone like most teenagers are.
Absolutely.
First car?
Yes.
First car. Okay,
Yep.
so new driver.
New driver.
Okay. How important is safety to you?
Very important.
Very important. Okay. So cheap, safety very important. Okay.
Cheap, safety very important. Number one and number two.
Okay. So those are your two things. Okay. What is she an Apple user, Android user?
Apple.
Apple. Okay. So obviously for that car, there's a lot of different applications that we can use.
Okay.
One, you're asking for cheap. So, and then you're asking for safety. Those are two things that are far apart from each other. So we're gonna have to come to a happy medium somewhere. I'm gonna go ahead and show you a couple different options that we have. Definitely, we have cheap. We also have all the safety precautions. We got to meet somewhere in the middle because there's no way that you're gonna get all the safety and cheap in the same car.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Show me what you
So
got.
let's show you a couple different options. I'm gonna show you 4 or 5 different radios.
Okay.
I want to know what's important to her. One of the things that's very important to me as a parent is safety. Obviously, safety's first, other than all the other features. So let's go over here to the presentation board. I have a couple different brands that I would like to show you. Most of the brands are going to have a lot of the same features, but it's going to come down to more a touchy feel and more how user-friendly you want the interface.
Okay.
So let's go over here and take a look at this. Mr. Ron, here we have our Sony display board. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple different things. I'm going to first go to what you asked me first.
Right.
You said cheap.
Cheap.
Okay, you said that was number one.
That's
all
it,
right.
that's it.
So I'm going to show you cheap.
Okay.
Our cheapest radio that we have here that would work on your daughter's car, which has some safety precautions, but not all of them.
Right.
Okay. We could go with a single DIN radio.
Okay.
The single DIN radios, the only safety precaution that's going to have is going to have Bluetooth for your daughter. She's not going to have answer any phone calls with her phone.
Okay.
Everything's going to come through the radio. She doesn't have to ever use her phone anymore in her hands. Obviously, in the state of Georgia, hands-free law. She could get a ticket.
Okay.
Now, let me show you the USB. She's going to be able to play her music through her USB. Okay. So those are some of the features you have. Some of these will have CD players. Most of them are going to be just media players.
Okay.
Okay. The problem with this radio is number 2. You said safety.
Yes, got to be safe.
Okay. Well, you can't connect the camera here. You can't have a backup camera. You can't have front-facing camera. You can't have side view cameras. There's no screen here. You can't have any type of video on these radios.
All right.
So this is where I was saying cheap and safety can't come together. Okay.
All right.
So now you're seeing that we can't go to the cheapest thing because obviously it's not meeting your safety requirements.
Correct.
Okay. So let's go ahead and go step 2. What I would do for my daughter. Okay. I have a daughter the same age. New driver. She's always on her phone.
Always.
Safety is the biggest concern for me. Okay. When I bought my first radio for my daughter, I couldn't be cheap. Okay, because my safety for my daughter is more important than a price point on this. Okay, what I ended up doing for my daughter is that I bought her the biggest screen. Okay, the reason I bought her the biggest screen was because it was easier for her to maneuver the radio, be able to see the bigger cameras, and it's a lot easier and user friendly. Okay, the Sony 8100 comes with 3-year warranty. With this particular radio, you're going to be able to add a front-facing camera, a rear-facing camera, and side view cameras. Now, obviously, 16-year-old driver. Not the greatest drivers in the world. I don't know about your daughter, but I know my daughter wasn't.
Right.
Okay? So with those extra safety features, it's going to help her be able to park when she's in school. It's going to be able to help her merge different lanes. And it's also going to be able to pull into parking spots without damaging the front of her car. Okay? So far,
So
I've met your
went
safety.
Cheap and expensive.
Well, I haven't given you a price yet.
Right.
So you don't know this one's expensive yet.
Okay, but it's the biggest one.
But obviously it's the biggest one.
That's right.
Okay?
Okay.
So I will tell you this. This is one of the more expensive radios. Okay?
Okay.
It is a lot higher than what these other single DIN radios would do. But also, you got to take into consideration all the extra features. Okay? One of the things that I like about the Sony radios myself is that Sony is one of the few companies that will give you a 3-year warranty. Okay? So as a parent, that gives me a little bit of sense of ease that I know that for the next 3 years, this radio is covered under warranty because kids are a little bit abusive on stuff. And if it does break, it is an electronic. It can happen. You bring it back and we'll take care of it. Okay? Sony's
Awesome.
one of the few companies that their warranty policy is A1. Any issues that you may have with it, we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Okay? So now let's talk price.
Yeah.
This is the part that you said that you want to be cheap.
It's important. It
Okay?
is.
So this radio is $749.99. Okay. So expensive, right? Expensive. I get it. I understand. But let's think about what can happen if she doesn't have those features.
Okay.
How expensive it's going to be if she backs into another car. How expensive it's going to be if she merges into another car. How deadly can it be if she gets into a wreck because she doesn't have these safety? Right. So for saving $400, $300, because that's what you're going to end up saving, I don't think it's worth it putting your daughter's life, her life and her safety at risk. Okay. So other than that, this to me is the perfect radio for her. This will fit pretty good. It's a big screen, so obviously it's going to be it's like having a big TV in your car.
Right.
Other than it's all for safety. Any questions you may have on this radio?
The only question I have, you explain the features, but how does it fit?
Okay, good question. Good question. So obviously, you see, it's a big radio.
Yes.
Okay. It's a lot bigger than the traditional radio that comes in there or that would go in there.
Right.
Okay. We have these other radios here that are smaller in screen that would fit better.
Right.
Okay. But obviously, you have a lot smaller screen. You're going from a 6.9-inch screen, 6.95-inch screen to an 8.95 screen. So this is a radio that has a lot of more surface area and is a single DIN. So yes, it's gonna look a little bit intimidating at the beginning, but over time she'll get used to it, and in the long run, having the bigger screen is gonna be a lot easier, a lot better for her.
My only question is, it looks kind of big, sticking out. I'm just not sure it's going to fit exactly in her car, and that Corolla's a little small.
Okay, yeah, so that's a good objection. So what I could do is, let me get one of my 12-volt installers out here. Let's get his opinion on how we can make this work on your vehicle and see if we can make this fit perfectly in there, okay? So give me 1 second, let me go ahead and get one of my techs.
Perfect.
Biscuit to the front, please. Biscuit to the front, please. I need your assistance on the sales. Need your assistance on the sales floor. Thank you. Hey, Biscuit. Hey. This is Mr. Ron, Biscuit.
Hey, Biscuit.
Mr.
Nice to
Ron
meet
is
you.
visiting us today. He has a daughter, a 16-year-old driver. He's looking to purchase a radio for her. His concerns are cheap and safety. Okay. So right now we're talking about using the Sony 8100. One of the objections that he just had with me was that it seems kind of big.
Yeah.
So what is your opinion? Do you think that we can go ahead and get this bigger size radio in that Toyota Corolla and make it look good and make it look like it's factory?
Oh yeah, we can do that. No problem. What we'll do is we'll custom build a bracket that fits on the factory mounting holes, and we'll slide it back as far as we can.
So okay, so the radio's not going to protrude as far out. So it's going to recess more into the dash.
Okay.
Like that. It's not sticking out. So it's not going to look like it is right now, where it's just kind of hanging out the dash. Okay. Is there any way we could get it real tight where it's as tight as possible?
Yeah, there is some adjustment on the radio itself to slide it back a little bit more, and then we can, like that bracket, we can get it back further in there, and it will be more flush.
Okay.
Now, if you wanted to go really super flush, that particular radio, we can detach the face and flush it in.
Okay, so do sort of custom work on
Yeah,
the dash
yeah.
and flush it into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give him that option. So we'll go from there. Mr. Ron, do you have any questions for Biscuit while he's here with us?
No, I just want to make sure if we do this, if I decide to do the bigger one, that it doesn't just stick out. So
No,
as long
it's
as you
not-
guys can do it, then
No, it's not going to stick out.
awesome.
All right. Well, Biscuit, thank you, man.
All right,
Yeah.
I got to get back to a customer car.
Thank
All
you.
right, look perfect in there. Do you think that this is the radio you would like to go with?
Well, yeah, I believe that that's the radio I would choose to go with, but we got to talk those numbers. You know, I'm cheap.
Okay, I got you. Well, before we get to numbers, let's go ahead and talk about a couple other things, okay?
Okay.
One, let's talk about our installation practice here at Traffic Jams.
Okay.
One of the reasons that we are who we are here at Traffic Jams is because of our installation practices are superior to all others around us, okay? Here I have a little display kind of showing you how other shops are doing installs using crimp caps, exposed wiring, using butt connectors. We don't do this. Obviously, you see all these loose wires here. If anything were to touch here, it definitely start an issue, okay? As far as going exaggerate, but burn down a car. Obviously, that's going to the exaggeration part, but this is what most shops are doing. Now, if you look at our installation, everything's soldered. Everything's nice and tight. You don't see no loose wires, okay? Everything has heat shrink, so it looks like it came from factory. This is how we are able to offer you a lifetime warranty on our labor, because we know with our installation practices, nothing's going to go wrong. If there's anything that goes wrong, obviously it would be something on the electrical side, and at that point, that's why it's nice to go with the Sony radios, because they have the 3-year warranty.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, so this just gives you an idea. Like that, you understand why our installation practice is so important to us. Okay. Now, the other thing I need to talk to you about is a couple of upgrades that you could do with this radio. Obviously, we talked about some of them, and you shook your head and said yes that you wanted those, which were one, a backup camera.
Absolutely.
This does not come with a backup camera, but you can add a backup camera to it. You can add the front-facing camera and the side view cameras.
So wait a minute, I can have 4 cameras?
You can have 4 cameras.
Okay.
So what's nice about this, obviously, when she puts the car in reverse, an image will appear on the screen, which will be a rear-facing image.
Okay.
That's the most important, and that's what comes with majority of cars these days. Okay. Now we want to go a little extra. You could go ahead and do side view cameras. So anytime she hits her blinkers, camera will turn on, the image will come on the screen. Okay.
Wow, that's
so
new.
now she can merge into a lane, knowing that she safely can merge into it because she's seeing in her blind spot there's nobody there. Okay.
Awesome.
The third camera that we could do is a forward-facing camera. Okay. The forward-facing camera is very nice when she's pulling into a parking spot. Okay. When she's in traffic, it allows her to know her distance before she gets to the parking blocks. I don't know how many times you know we all have done it. We pull up, we curb our front bumpers, costs a lot of money. So that's another option, okay? So out of those 3 options, which one do you think that's more important to you?
Well, I'd like to see the price on all 3 of them, but definitely the backup camera.
Okay, I agree with you, okay? I agree with you that backup camera is the most important one.
Yep.
But I also agree that if it's in the budget, we should look at trying to do all 3 of them for the safety point, okay? At this point, you're protecting her all around the vehicle,
Right.
all right? So there's a couple other options that we have on this radio.
Okay.
One, if you want to, we could go ahead and flush mount her USB. The nice thing about the USB is that when she plugs in her USB, it's going to charge her phone. Okay? Or other shops, they just leave the USB dangling under the dash, which it's okay. I mean, she's got a fumble around her car trying to get her USB to plug in her phone.
Okay.
What's nice would it be a flush mount? It looks a lot more. It looks a lot more professional. It looks clean. It looks like it came from Toyota that way.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's another option. Is she a Sirius XM user?
No.
No, she does not listen to Sirius XM.
She does the thing on her phone. Was it Pandora
Okay.
or Apple CarPlay or something? Or not
Okay.
CarPlay, but Apple Music.
Apple Music.
Yep.
So she's streaming. She's
Yes.
a streamer.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So with this radio, she's going to have the options to do it 2 ways. She's going to have the option to do with Apple CarPlay. Is she an Apple user?
Yep.
Okay, so she'll be able to do Apple CarPlay. At that point, as soon as she plugs in, her phone, her home screen of her phone is going to pop up. Apple CarPlay is going to show up.
Wow.
At that point now, the actual radio has become totally hands-free. There's no reason for her to have that phone in her possession. She needs to put that on the other seat, put it in her center console, whatever she needs to do other than holding it. She has no reason to do that anymore. So no more tickets. Hands-free, Law Georgia. Remember that, okay? So at this point, once the Apple CarPlay comes on the screen, she's going to be able to receive all her text messages, her phone calls. She's going to be able to use her Apple Maps, Waze Maps, any of her navigations, and it also supports about 50 or 60 other apps. Okay, so Apple CarPlay is the most important thing. Now, this particular radio has other features that I would say that for her are not going to be very important, but there's features that down the road, when she becomes a more experienced driver, that we can add HDMI cables to this. Obviously, that opens up a whole different window. Okay, obviously for a 16-year-old, I would not recommend that. But that's something maybe down the road you might want to revisit. Okay? So let's do this. Let me go ahead and put an estimate together for you.
All right.
Obviously, you're here. Let me give you numbers. Let me give you what is going to be your price for the radio. Give you the different options with the backup camera, the side view camera, the front facing camera.
All right.
Okay?
Let's do it.
The only thing with this, I'll tell you, everything has its pricing. We'll go over everything, and then we could go ahead and start subtracting whatever you don't want to use.
Sounds
Okay?
good. Yep.
All right.
Sounds
Let's
real
go
good.
to the counter.
Absolutely.
All right, Mr. Ron. This
Yes,
is going to
sir.
take a couple minutes, so
Okay.
just hang tight. Would you like a cup of water?
Yeah, water
Coffee?
would be good.
Water's fine. Okay.
Yep.
Let me get you a bottle of water and give me about 5-10 minutes, and I'll have this estimate ready for you. Here's a bottle of water. All right. I'm going to go around the counter real quick. We're going to go ahead and type this up. So I have a waiting area right here that you could go ahead and give me 5 minutes, and I'll have this ready for you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Mr. Ron.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ron, I'm ready for you. If you want to step to the counter, if we could go over this estimate.
Be right there.
All right. All right, Mr. Ron, I'm going to go ahead and show you this estimate. Okay? I broke everything down. We're going to start with the main piece. The main piece is the radio, correct? So we agree this is the radio you want to go with.
Yes, correct.
All right. So this line item right here is the actual radio itself. You're going to have a couple extra parts that we're going to need for your particular car. Okay. A couple of those parts are necessary, not an option. Okay. A dash kit, wire and harness. The reason that we need a dash kit You heard Biscuit tell us that we need this dash kit to be able to install the radio one, but also be able to flush it as far back as possible.
Okay.
We did agree that that's what you want, as far back as possible, make it look like factory.
Yes.
Okay. The wiring harness, we need a wiring harness because we don't want to go ahead and cut your factory wiring. So this is going to make it a lot easier for us to integrate this radio into the factory wiring, where if one day you decide to sell this the car and you want to go ahead and take this radio out, we're able to put your car back to factory without having to cut any of the factory wiring.
That'd be nice.
You're going to have a couple other little items. You're going to need an antenna adapter. Unfortunately, that's something you need with aftermarket radios to be able to continue using your FM reception. All right. Now, we have labor. Obviously, labor is what it costs to install this radio. I see you looking at that like it's a big number. So these are your different options. Okay. Here we have the reverse camera. We have the side view cameras, and we have the front facing camera. We also have the flush mount USB. Okay. So now that you see the total price, okay, this is your total price here. When would you like to schedule your appointment?
Good. But let me ask you a question. Why is the labor
So much.
That's a good question. So I'll tell you this. One of the reasons why our labor is so much is because we have some very good 12-volt installers here. We actually have 3 of the top 50 installers in the United States that works on this single.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'll tell you this. One of the reasons that we're so good at what we do is because the guys that we have in the back do extensive training, okay? They take a lot of pride in their work. But let me go ahead and show you instead of talking about it, okay? Follow me back to here to the work area,
See.
and I'm going to kind of show you what they do, okay?
All right. Wow, that's actually really impressive.
So now you could get an idea of why our labor rates are a little bit higher, okay, than most shops that do this. But it's for the purpose of what we got going on. You know, we have highly trained installers back there. You saw yourself, okay?
Yeah.
Your car's going to be pampered. When you get your car back, we're going to go ahead and do a whole presentation to you on how everything's used. If you want to bring your daughter back, she can also come with you. Go ahead and teach her how to use everything. Like that, she has any questions, we can answer anything right then and there.
Awesome.
Okay? So now that you've seen that, you've seen our installation bay, you talked to Biscuit, the installer who's going to be working on this, what are your thoughts about scheduling next week?
Let's do it.
Okay. So let me check the calendar real quick. Let's see what's available. All right. So looking at the calendar real quick, I don't have nothing available for Monday, but I do have an opening at 10 a.m. Tuesday morning. How does that sound for you?
Sounds good. Let's book it.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get this scheduled. So easiest thing to do on Tuesday morning, come in. We open at 9. You bring us your keys. Make sure that you take all your belongings out of the vehicle. We're going to need the vehicle for roughly about 4 hours. I think that I will have it to you before the 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Try to come with some time when you come pick up the car. That you give me about 30 minutes of your time to be able to show you how everything works. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. That was really
So
good.
what you think? Everything seemed like what we talked about?
It was awesome. I'm very happy.
Okay. Do you think that your daughter's going to be able to understand how everything works, or do you think you're going to want to bring her by for us to show her?
I think she got it.
The gist of it was pretty simple,
But if she has any issues, can she come back and see you?
She can come anytime. Anytime, Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Any of us can help her. If she comes in with a little time, just tell her to come in and say, hey, I'm the one who got the Corolla done. My dad was here. He was the one that was being cheap. And, you know, so
Okay.
we got you squared away.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and now take care of business. Let's go ahead and finalize the transaction and get you on your way.
Sounds good.
All right. Here's your final invoice. Okay.
All right. Yep.
Let me go ahead and grab you your keys.
All right.
Yep, these are your keys right here.
Perfect.
Now, if you're happy with our service, Mr. Ron, definitely all our customers are word of mouth.
Yeah.
If you are happy with what we do, we only take 5-star reviews. Can I ask you for one? We're a small business. We love our customers that are happy with us to give us reviews because that's how we get more customers through the door.
Absolutely.
So if you're able to do that, that helps me out. Okay, we get treated a little special here. Ownership takes care of us if we get reviews, and definitely put my name in it. Very important.
All right. Got you
All right,
covered,
thank
man.
you, man.
Absolutely. Thank
have
you
any
for,
questions,
for the
man?
help.
Thank you
Absolutely.
very much. All right.
Appreciate it.
Have a good
Appreciate it.
Mr. Venable. Hey, how you doing? This is Jamil with Traffic Jam Motorsports. How are you tonight? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, Mr. Venable, it's been a couple of days since we did the installation on your daughter's car, and I was just calling to check up on you, making sure that, one, that she was happy with the install, you were happy with it, and if you had any questions for me. Okay. So she loved it. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's what I wanted to hear. Okay. Did she have any issues figuring out the radio? Yeah, yeah. If she has any questions, just tell them to come by. We could teach her how to use that. It should be no problem. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Man, that would be awesome. Yes, sir. You know that we only work on recommendations and referrals. So yeah, send me your neighbor. If he has the same age daughter, and we could treat her the same way that we treated you, and make sure that we could get her her car with all the safety precautions in there also. Okay, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, just tell them to ask for me, and or have them come by, and I'll go ahead and give them the same service I gave you, and hopefully I can make their daughter a little safer in their car. All right. Well, thank you very much. By any chance, did you get a chance to do that review? Okay, okay, okay. Please, please remember that's the only way that that's the advertising we do, just local word of mouth. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for choosing Traffic Jam Motorsports. Have a good night. Bye bye. And let me send a little message here. All right, send them my mail out. All right, send that out in the morning. Thank you for choosing Traffic Jam Motorsports. This is Jamil. Can I help you?
Yes, this is Mr. Wright, and Mr. Venable is my neighbor, and he told me to give you a call to see if you can help me with my daughter's car like you helped him.
Okay, Mr. Wright. How you doing today?
Pretty good.
Good, good, good. All right, yeah, I remember Mr. Venable. Mr. Venable, we did I believe it was a Toyota Corolla for his daughter a couple of days ago.
Correct.
He was looking for some safety equipment for her vehicle. Is that correct? Is that the Mr. Venable I'm thinking about?
Yeah, Corolla, radio, backup camera. That's right.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, so Mr. Wright, let's talk a little bit about what you're looking for. First of all, is it the same situation? You have a daughter that's a new driver?
Yes, it's exactly the same situation, except for my daughter drives a Toyota Scion XB.
Oh, Toyota Scion. You won't believe this, Mr. Wright. That is the car I drive every day. That is my baby. I love Toyota Scions.
Wow.
Okay, so this is going to be simple because I'm an expert in the Toyota Scion. I drive one of these every day, and I know what to look for. So definitely we can help you with this. So let's start from the beginning. What year is this Toyota Scion?
It's a 2014.
2014. Okay. Man, she got a nicer one. She got one of the new ones. Mine is one of the older ones, so it's a little beater, but it gets me around. So why don't we do this, sir? Obviously, it would be nice for you to come by the shop. Same thing I did with Mr. Venable. I went ahead and kind of gave him a presentation here at the shop, showing him the different options that we have for the vehicle. Want to give you a couple of different upgrades that we can do. Show you a little bit of what we're about and our installation practices. Like that, we could go ahead and kind of decide which is the best route to go with on the Scion XB, and let's see what we can go ahead and come together game plan for your daughter in this car.
Okay, that sounds good. I have some time tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon.
Will that work?
Okay. All right. What time do you think you come by the shop?
The time I have available is about 3 p.m.
Okay. So this is what I'm gonna do, Mr. Wright. Tomorrow, I'm gonna make sure that I have my Scion XB here for you to go ahead and kind of take a look at my car. I want to show you, I have all the safety features on my vehicle like that. You could go ahead and sit in the vehicle and kind of play with the radio and see the different cameras and see all the different functions that I have in that vehicle to see if any of this stuff is exactly what you're looking for in your daughter.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
All right. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Wright. Does your daughter also go to Buford High School?
She does.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, okay. So, yeah, let's do tomorrow at 3 p.m. When you come in, just ask for me. Most likely I'll be in the front, but if not, I'm always kind of somewhere in the building. Ask for me, and as soon as they call me up front, I'll bring the car around, and we'll go ahead and kind of, show you all the different options you have for that.
That would be awesome. I appreciate
All
it.
right. What is your phone number, Mr. Wright?
678
Okay.
485 6276.
6276. All right, perfect. So 3 p.m. tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and put you in our system. You're going to get a text message right now just showing an appointment schedule, reminding you that tomorrow at 3 p.m. we'll meet here at the shop. All right, tomorrow is Tuesday. Perfect. Okay, so we'll do that, and I'm happy to see you tomorrow. And if you have any questions, try to write down everything like that. I'll make sure that we go over everything that you want and show you the different products that we have here.
I'd be perfect. We'll see you then.
All right. Thank you very much. You have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye. My evolution in sales this year has been a little bit of a change. Over the years, I've always been good at sales. This year, I had to focus a little bit more because now this was pretty much one of the biggest hats I was wearing at the shop at Traffic Jams this year. I evolved this year with a lot of patience. You get to a point in your career as a sales pro that you want to only deal with certain things. You only want to deal with certain sales. And as we know, that's not the way to do sales in our industry. You have to be able to take the good with the bad. And a lot of it has just been, evolving with patience. The older we get, the less patience we have. And that's something that I've worked with a lot, not just on the sales floor, but in life in general, at home, with employees, with coworkers. It's just having a little bit more patience. The other thing that I have done a lot this year is that I focus on a lot more reading, a lot of more product knowledge. I've been able to focus myself a little bit more on the sound quality side of 12 volts. I'm definitely enjoying these higher end sound quality builds. One of the things that I've also evolved this year quite a bit is with the safety. I wasn't really I would say a big, huge sales professional when it came to the safety side. This year, I decided that was a category that I was missing. I was striking out on. And I was striking out because I just wasn't giving it the opportunity that I thought it should deserve. I opened that chapter up this year, and it has been very fruitful for me on the sales side. So yeah, I've evolved into trying to do a lot more and learn a lot more of different 12 volt product that can help me on the sales floor. So that's one of the biggest evolutions I've had this year.
Second part. Outline any ongoing training or development as well as specific goals for continued improvement.
Outline anyone else?
Ongoing training
Uh-huh.
or development as well as specific goals for continued improvement.
Okay. Training is very important for me. I am MECP certified sales pro. I am now going to take my MECP certification on the installation side. I feel that training is very important on both sides just because the more technical that you can get with a product and the more you know about it, it helps on the sales floor. We do trainings here at the shop. I'm always training with the sales staff. I am probably the leader on training at the sales staff. I'm always the one that's getting all the guys together, gals together, and say, hey guys, let's talk about what this new product can do, how we can sell it, how it can affect our sales, how can it help improve just in general our sales goals here at the shop. So training is very important. Obviously, I do all the Knowledge Fest trainings. I am doing this year the Masters Tech Expo sales training also. over the past few years, I've been asked to be a speaker at some of the Knowledge Fest classes. So training is something huge. We'll continue doing it. We have, again, sales trainings every other week here, and we're going to every training possible that here locally that comes to our local areas. So training is very good, and we'll continue doing it as part of our everyday agenda, and always trying to push the limit on getting better at what we do. Some of the practices that I do to help the store and other sales professionals here at Traffic Jams. One of the key things that I do is that I always have my sales hat on. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I could be at church, I could be on the lake, I could be in the ocean, I could be anywhere. I'm a very active person in my life, so I'm always in different circles. I participate in a lot of activities that most don't. So I'm always meeting people. I'm always meeting new business owners. So I've always have my sales hat on, and this is one of the reasons why I am able to sell those type of numbers, just because I get a lot of phone calls. What that entails that a lot of these phone calls I can't get to. I can't give every one of those customers 100%. So how I help other sales pro is that I refer a lot of these customers to them, which in turn allows them to give them 100% of their attention, give them a better service, and also helps them make their sales goals. I'm also the go-to guy here, which is kind of crazy for anything parts related. Anytime they need something and they can't find it, I'm their go-to guy. I'm the plug. I'm the connect. Anything that they look for or they can't find, somehow I'm always able to find it somewhere. And obviously, one of those blessings is being able to have a lot of industry peers across the country that I can pick up the phone and find parts at any moment. So that's another way I help. Another thing that I do quite a bit is that I'm always teaching the sales pros here different tactics on how to sell, different ways to communicate through social media, through ShopMonkey, and just in person, how to get out of their normal routines for they can meet more people, for they could be in different circles. That to me is very key. As a sales pro, if you're not talking, if you're not meeting, you're reducing the avenues that your sales avenues. So that's one of the things that I'm always teaching them. Get out of that normal routine, talk to more people, be open, start up conversations at the grocery line, anywhere. I'm always talking. My wife always tells me that I don't shut up, that I even talk in my sleep. So that's, I guess, something that I love to do. Another thing that I'm able to help other sales pro here is that I'm bilingual, so I'm able to target two communities. And obviously, anytime a Spanish-speaking customer comes to the door, I have to assist anyone who is helping that customer. So that's one of the things that I do. I bring to the store, and I bring other sales staff help that I help them every day with. So yeah, those are a couple of the different things I bring to the store.
Hello, my name is David Doling.
I'm Michael Bischoff. One of the things that Yamil does really well is he conveys that no sale is too big or too small. And that's a very important thing, because when somebody walks in our door, it doesn't matter what you want done or how you want it done, he's going to make it happen.
That's true. I've known Jamil for about 10 years and seen how he talks to customers, how he approaches them and gets them to open up to him exactly what they want, what they're looking for, and how he can best match our capabilities to give them what they're looking for. I think seeing how he does that, how he talks to them, helps our other sales team here so much, whether they've been in the industry for a while or just starting out. We have Melvin Washington, who's been here for a very long time. You know, and it's easy to get used to a certain way of selling. I think that Yamil brings a new attitude and new desire for the sales that sometimes we can miss. And I think Melvin sees that and appreciates it. We also have Kimberly Soto, who is just starting out in the industry. And she's been able to see how Yamil talks to the customers, how he approaches them. And that has helped her get into this industry a little bit more, make the contacts, make the relationships that he's been able to establish, and for her to succeed in this field.
Yeah, very true.
So some of the things that I do in the industry to influence other sales pros, you know, I'm not the guy who's every week on the sales call. I'm not the guy who's every day on social media. But I am the guy that if you pick up the phone and call me, you'll get me every time. If you have a problem, I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to give you how I would approach the situation. And not just give you my opinion, but if you need some type of help, I will do it. I'm very active with a lot of sales pros behind the scenes. I'm not the guy that's always has my face out in every social platform, but I am the guy in the background always helping. There's a lot of sales pros out there, you know, Jason Cook and Elias Ventura, Robert Kowach, Jason Kranitz. We talk a lot. Kevin Juarez from Sonic Sound. We're always talking. Ada. We're always on the phone. Even if it's just to sometimes just shoot the shit, man, and just kind of just see how we're doing, how, you know, what's happening in different parts of the country. Now that's important to me because before I would never care what was happening across the country in California, but I've learned over the years that it does influence how we do things here because we're not looked at as a local shop. We're looked at more as a national powerhouse. So it's one of those things that it does matter to me. I'm also a speaker at Knowledge Fest. I do sales training classes. I do ownership training classes. So it's one of those things that I do give back to our community, to our industry. And it's one of those things that a lot of people in our industry, a lot of peers, feel comfortable picking up the phone and calling me just to ask me for advice, just on anything that has to do with running a 12-volt business, on sales, on employees, just rules and regulations, just a lot of stuff. So I'm very active. Yes, you're not going to see my face again, like I said, on every sales call. I have a lot more on my plate than most sales pros. You know, every day I have to deal with, 15 to 20 employees. I have to deal with a multi-million-dollar facility that is a very high moving store, a lot of moving parts. We're a high volume. So I do what I can with the time I have. But yes, I am more of pick up the phone, call me, because you will get me and you will get the answers that you're looking for.
What can we say about the East Coast? I'm going to tell you about the East Coast. I'm going to tell you that a lot of times you could divide the East Coast between like New York, the Mid-Atlantic where I live, and the South. And in those areas, you're going to find people that are a lot the same and a lot different. Now, I'm going to tell you about my friend. My friend, man, I met him in 2018. And I'm going to tell you what, nicest guy ever. But I'm an East Coast guy. I don't like nobody. Couldn't fuck with him. Didn't understand him, on and on and on. But you know what? This man's not stupid. He knew I didn't really fuck with him, right? He knew that like I was just being East Coast. He knew that. Anyway, fast forward for a couple months or or something like this. I think I met him in Dallas in 2018. Fast forward a couple months, and we'd see him at different events. I think I met him at. No, let's get this right. Let's turn this around. I think I met him at Indy 2018, and then I ended up meeting him again in in Dallas of 2018. And way different impression, I think the first time I met him, he was being a little off characteristic, like a little bit more open, trying to, whatever would be a little bit different. I saw him in Dallas more of himself, more of the New York, the hardworking guy, and I appreciated that. I think that's really cool. Now, fast forward even further, and here we are, 6-7 years later, and I have the utmost respect for the guy, man. I see his operation, I see what he does for his guys, and this is no bullshit. I'm straight up jealous. I'm straight up jealous of the business that he's cultivated. I'm straight up jealous that he can get up every morning, go to the gym. I see him go to the, I see you at LA Fitness. I see you. You know what I'm saying? I am jealous that he started, doing more car stuff, brought one of his team members back and set him up for success. I'm jealous that the man still has the drive that sometimes I don't have. I mean, it's just the truth. Sometimes I don't have it. I don't have it in me to do the awards anymore. I don't have it in me to do all that other stuff, right? But I can look at a guy like Yamil, my man Yamil, and get that inspiration I need to get through whatever I'm going through. And we don't talk often, but when we talk, man, it's a 1 hour, 2 hour spectacle. It's a spectacle. We're patting each other on the back and giving us each other's daps and sharing advice and all kinds of different stuff. Now, mind you, he and I are very different people, extremely different. Like, I'm a little more of a I don't know. So we're the same. We're the same in some aspects, right? So he loves cars. I love cars. I like fast cars. He likes fast cars. He's just the best way I could say it would be some place that I would probably want to aspire to. He's done what I've done. You know what I mean? He doesn't use that against me, and I think for that reason, I think Yamil is a great person for the Sales Pro contest. I think that more people can learn from an old school sales guy, because we know you old. We know you old, bro. I need darker tint. Look at that. I need darker tint. Let me see if I can get this done. Okay. We know you old, but this is my straight up, honest opinion. I love this man. He's done more for this industry in the last couple years than a lot of other folks that are on that list. And I would love to give him my "That a boy, go do it, go win it" from Maryland. Bye, Yamil. Good luck, my friend.
Hey everybody, this is Scott Darby. I am the Jail Audio rep and the First Tech rep for Traffic Jams Motorsports and its owner, Yamil Widy. I just cannot say enough about these guys. The quality of the shop, second to none. Yamil Widy as a sales pro and the owner of his shop blows my mind when I'm standing at the counter and a customer comes in and asks some obscure question. Yamil knows the answer. He doesn't have to look anything up. Blows my mind when I see that. He really knows his craft, and that just shows you. That shows you he's put in the time. He studies. He wants to be the best. He treats every customer the same. That's the one thing that I've noticed that's been really cool. He doesn't care who you are. Come in there. He's going to talk to you. He's going to do everything he can to satisfy that customer's needs. As far as sales out there in the field for me, he's helped me tremendously. When other shops ask me, what can I do to get better? What can I do to improve my shop? I'll bring up Yamil and I'll bring up Traffic Jams Motorsports. And I'll just say, hey man, you're in the Atlanta area, go by and see him. They've reached out to him on the phone. He's helped multiple dealers of mine. He's not afraid to share his knowledge, and he's not afraid of letting some of his secrets out there in the world go. So I admire that. He loves our industry and continues to strive every day just to make it better. So just want to say again, congratulations on the nomination, guys, and good luck.
Hey everyone, my name is Kevin Juarez. I'm the owner of Sonic Sound in Arlington, Virginia. Hey, I wanted to recommend Yamil of winning Sales Pro of the Year. One of the reasons is I know Yamil for about 8 years, and he's always there to help me out in my own business here. Even though I have my business for 23 years, I'm always learning from him. Any questions, any trouble that I have in running my business, I just call him and I say, hey Yamil, this is what's going on, can you help me out? And he's always there to help. Same thing, I've seen some of the videos that he has. I've been to his store, I watch him how he does his sales, and he has a very good sales technique. That's why I recommend Yamil to win, and good luck.
Hello, my name is Jeff Smith, and I'm here to give my endorsement for Traffic Jams Motorsports and for Yamil Widy, the owner, day-to-day superstar, rock star at Traffic Jams here in Buford, Georgia. A lot of people don't know that years past I worked for Traffic Jams for a very brief amount of time before I opened my own retail store. The previous owner and I had a decent relationship, and there were big hopes and dreams of what he could turn Traffic Jams into back in the day. He was the second owner of Traffic Jams. Traffic Jams has been a big name in this part of our city for many, many years. And no one other than Yamil Widy has been able to take the true name of Traffic Jams and turn it into the powerhouse of a mobile electronics professional environment that it is today. Previously, when I worked there, that establishment, we struggled with leadership from the top down. We struggled from the inability to make quality decisions, the inability to branch out and to be versatile on the sales floor and in the installation bay, to be able to take care of customers' needs in a timely fashion. And a lot of that stemmed from leadership down, handcuffing employees, to not be able to have the tools and the ability to actually blossom and grow the business into what it could have been. It really warms my heart to walk into Traffic Jams whenever I have the opportunity to and see what a diamond the team at Traffic Jams has turned this establishment into. You talk about a establishment that is led from the top down with someone that has a drive, a get out and go get them 24/7 type mentality that then transcends down to everyone in that shop every day, nonstop. I don't think I've ever been in that retail store on a friendly basis, on a business basis, on a whatever scenario where there was a time where there was a bad situation with a customer that wasn't being rectified easily without a problem. There wasn't a laughter, smiles, people being helped. It's always a very, very, very nice environment. Beautiful showrooms, always clean, always immaculate, always inviting, customers waiting, dropping off, small projects, big projects, it doesn't matter. The company itself is what I would like to call one of those icons within our industry. They should be an example of how 12-volt retailers in our industry should run their day-to-day business, how the employees are eager to come to work every day. I've never heard a single employee there going, man, I don't want to come to work tomorrow, or tomorrow's Monday, or I had to stay late for whatever reason, because they enjoy and love their jobs at traffic jams because of the environment that has been created and that is sustained on a day-to-day basis from the top down. Yamil, Melvin, Michael Bischoff, Ben Freeman, and all the other guys there at traffic jams make dealing with them from a manufacturing standpoint an absolute dream. These guys are eager for knowledge. These guys are always wanting to be in the forefront of everything that's going on. They put forth the effort. They have the heart, and they are truly, like I said before, the example of what a 12-volt retailer should do. Wanting to be a part of our industry from every standpoint, being constantly involved, being encouraged, teamwork. I can't talk about teamwork and it being a family environment more than anything else. From the girls behind the counter who are super smart and super on point, to the guys in the back who work on the dirty cars, the mechanics, the installation technicians, the MECP certified installers. They all work as a family, and there's no job too big and no job too small. And that's one of the things that I see in our industry now. A lot of guys are alienating themselves from a standard head unit install. You have these guys that are just head unit people. You have these guys that are just the basic custom guys. And you got these guys who are the CNC router guys who only want to build custom interiors, who are segmenting themselves out of, different parts of the business. Well, when I walk into traffic jams, I know that if I want to refer someone to them, I can refer them no matter the job to traffic jams. A $50 job to a $50,000 job. And I know that it's going to be handled with the utmost care and professionalism. And I will never hear any bad word back from a customer, another manufacturer, anyone that I've ever referred to traffic jams as a friendly, referral scenario. Within the industry, I see, like I keep mentioning from the leadership down, Jamil bringing his crew to Knowledge Fest, bringing his crew to local trainings. He's not just sending his employees out. The entire crew at traffic jams puts forth the effort to be top 5, top 50, top 12 installers, top retailers, everything that we do within the mobile electronics industry. These guys are all in, 100% going 100 miles an hour toward every goal that they can. And they do it with a smile. They do it with honor. And they do it with traffic jams on their back as a family. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate and admire from the team at Traffic Jams Motorsports here in Buford, Georgia. I can't say it enough. These guys are amazing. From Jamil himself being a enthusiast. A lot of shop owners have no clue what really goes on in the bay, who won't get their hands dirty, who won't stop what they're doing to run get product, come back, tear a car apart, and do whatever they need to actually be a part of the day-to-day business within their store. But that's why I'm here, because I believe in the team and the family environment that Traffic Jams Motorsports makes within their four walls of that building. They are a true leader in this 12-volt industry, and I think that they should definitely be recognized for their efforts. Thank you.
Why do I think I should win this award? Well, I'll tell you this. A lot of the previous winners have carried a torch, and they've done a very good job. I see guys like Jason Cook and Elias Ventura, Robert Kowach, being very active in the industry, helping other sales pros. I see them online. I see them at the event trainings, done very good jobs. They've set a great example of what should be done and how it should be done. Me personally, I think I take a little bit of different approach to it. I think that I'm a little bit more hands-on, personal. When people need help, they know that they can always call me, um, reach out, and I will give them my undivided attention to their problem. A lot of times to a fault where I almost make their problems my problem. Um, I believe that I bring a different character, a different responsibility to the Sales Pro Award. As being a owner, not not just a sales pro, but an owner of a shop of this magnitude, of this size. I bring more to the table than just the sales side. Uh, I think that I can be a great ambassador for our industry. I am one of the people that take our industry very seriously. I breathe it, I eat it every day. I'm always looking to push the envelope, not just for traffic jams, but for our industry to improve. I'm always encouraging others to step out of their comfort zone and see how they can improve by just tweaking and doing a couple little changes to their everyday routines. Um, I feel that my word carries a little more weight for a simple fact that we've been doing this for since 2007 at this high pace, at this high level. Obviously, over the years we've improved just because of the mistakes that we have made. I'm the first one to raise my hand and say that I've screwed up many times. We are here where we're at today because of those mistakes, because I was able to rectify and change the way we do things. As a sales pro, I feel that you're a teacher. You're always teaching a consumer. You're teaching peers. You're teaching industry peers, coworkers. And I feel that I'm very good at that. I feel that I have a level head, that I don't let my emotions get in the way when I'm talking about business. Especially in the 12-volt business, you can't allow your emotions to get involved. That's one of the biggest lessons that I try to teach. Obviously, I do want to be able to follow in the footsteps of these other great sales pros. And I believe that this year I have proven that you can be a great sales pro, still be a great owner, still be a great coworker, and still have a top 12 retailer facility as I do now. And I think that I can be an example of what the future of our 12-volt industry is going to look like. I think that we're pushing the envelope, and it's one of those things that I can teach to other shops. I've already seen many shops take our footprint, take our recipe, and start to implement it in their stores, in their states, and start to have a lot of success. So yes, definitely feel like I am worthy of this award, and I feel that I'll be able to carry the torch just as good or better than previous sales pros. I believe that I have put in the hard work. I've put in the countless hours to reach the pinnacle of the sales profession in our industry. So definitely would love the consideration from our industry judges and industry peers to be the Sales Pro of the Year.
None of this is all real good. So we're taking all this out, and as soon as we get the okay.
Not available. But I do have Tuesday. I have an open appointment at 10 p.m. in the morning. No.